Right then. Just do a little bit of prep. Can you guys hear me okay? Good, good. Unfortunately, yes. Cool. Right then. Okay, so if it's all going looking good, let's begin. So, hey there, Silver Tongue Devil here. Today, we're going to be hunting orphans. So, I haven't got a game on at the moment. I'm just going to jump straight into Purgatory, and we will begin. Hello to everybody that's here. Now, if you would like to take your textbooks and open up to page 34, the chapter on Orphans, that would be a great start. So, first things first, I'm going to do a bit of rooftop hopping. Now then, so first things first, we should all know on Purgatory exactly where the orphan spawns. As far as Purgatory, she will always spawn on the third section. So that's where we're going. No, don't lose lives to... Oh, yeah, we're not fletching, not today. So, right, hear that? Sounds like Orphan to me. So, what we're going to do, the first technique that I'm going to show you is, I can show you now actually. Right, so we are in range of the Orphan. The Orphan has spawned. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk back. Now we don't want to see the little blighter. Now we can still hear her laughing, very faintly, which means she's still spawned. And if we keep going, we will get to a point where we can't hear her. She should stop very abruptly. There. So here, at this point, with the amount of enemies that are around, if we come here, she will despawn. If we can make her despawn, even if she's alerted, she will disappear, not from the world, but just within the game. And then we can go back in and get her at our leisure. I'll show that off a little bit later. I might show it off in this example. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you how to hopefully take her out with the minimum of fuss. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around the peripheries. No, I've already made line of sight with her. So she will now run. Let's pop an arrow in her. So this is going to be the despawn example. I've hit her. I'm now running. And you heard the teleporting away noise just as I was getting really far away. But it cut out. Now that's the important part. If the teleporting away noise cuts out, that means she's despawned. Which will mean that she will respawn where she despawned. So, let's pretend that I fucked that up on purpose, okay? What a great example of despawning right there. And now we can hear her laughing again. Now, the only problem with this technique is you've got to be ready to move very quickly, and she will have moved slightly, and we don't know where. So let's clear the area. And what we want to try and do is not get into line of sight. Oh, you're coming, don't you? We don't want to get into line of sight. Oh, Titan, what a great start. Well, now you do know how to trigger it purposefully. It is literally about getting as far away as possible. Whee! Damn it. Whee! Steady on, you guys. Right. Oh, that did. I think that might have took my armor off. Quite right, Sean. Every extra split second I pause time for, because I'm slowing them down, it's in essence speeding me up. Kinda in a very silly roundabout way. So what we're doing here is we're just going around the outside of the level and we're just clearing out everything. The reason being is if we clear out everything, it doesn't matter where she runs to, she's not going to have backup. The best place to get good at the slow motion is on Siege of Heaven. Best place for it, because you have to slow-mo between each shot to be able to give yourself time to score well. Yeah, but you're being convinced, John. You will slow-mo one day. You will. I know you will. Oh, yeah. Hang on, I missed that. Who doesn't like slow-mo? Oh, it's Vaughn. Hello, Vaughn. So, another thing that we've got going on here as well is we can still, if this doesn't go to plan, we can still get the hell out of dodge, and we're probably going to end up going that way because it'll be easier. So, let's not have a look. Where's she likely to be? We don't want to go up there because we'll see her. We don't really want to land in this corridor because she'll get line of sight on us, most likely. Although I think she's moved into the courtyard. So, now this is... So I've cleared out a decent portion of what's going on. There's still going to be enemies in that courtyard. Now, what we're going to try and do is we're going to move in such a manner that she doesn't see us to here, and we're going to lure her cronies in. Oh, by sense of smell, obviously, by line of sight. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to inch, and we're going to slowly cut this corner. See if we can see anybody else. There's one there. He's made us. Oh no! I've been seen! And that's another enemy less for us to deal with. Now, to me, so this is quite an important part of the whole orphan hunting thing, is you, through playing various modes and games, and this is something that Fletcher... Oh, hello, she's going already. Not today. Right, let's start this example again. Oh, I might not have got away far enough then. Possibly not. Let's see. Let's see if I fucked that up. We'll go back in a minute. So yeah, if she gets line of sight, I was pissing around trying to get that wildfire, and I might have lost her. Oh no, gang, that's not a very good example. I think I lost her. Boo! She got away. Okay, well. Right, so that's the first and most important example, how not to do it. So the reason why she got away is she made me. It's not always if she sees a stray arrow, because they can see the arrow, but it's whether it goes close enough for them to hear it. Doesn't need to be line of sight. She is pretty sensitive, but we'll get her this time. I'll play it a little bit different, and I won't talk to you guys whilst I'm trying to do it. I don't need to anyway. So right, again, section 3. So we've got some things in our quiver there, so to speak. We now know how to despawn her. It's all about getting as far away as possible, as quickly as possible. Another thing that you can do, say for instance this was section 2. This section 2 was section 3. Oh! That's rare. It's not. It nearly happens all the time, but it's supposed to be a rare drop. So let's say she was in there and I alerted her. So I come in here. Oh no, I've alerted the orphan. Can't deal with all this lot. There's too much going on. Got to get away. One of the other things that you can do is you can quickly get away, and if you hop into this, now you'd think that they're only over there, that, you know, we haven't gone that far away at all, but I can tell you now, because this is something that you might not know about the shop, it's actually on the level. So we would be over there somewhere, and because we've come up here, that will definitely cause pretty much every enemy in the level to despawn, because they're all the way down there. So this part is always still part of it. So that's another thing that you can do if you are getting away. And that's always going to work as well. That's probably one of your safer options to make sure that you don't catch the orphan. Now, what I was alluding to a minute ago is playing the various modes so that you know where the orphan is. Now, we should be able to take all of these guys out without too much power. And if we hear the orphan start to do her magical thing, what we're going to do is we're just going to get really close to her. This one can be difficult, but I'll show you how I go about getting this one. And this is also what it comes down to as well, knowing the placements. If you know the placements, then you can kind of gauge her line of sight and what you can take out without too much bother. She can see us with plenty of angles, but we're going to cut those angles down. So we're going over here. Okay, this one. Now we don't need to take all of these out first. However, I think it's a really good idea. Now, one of the things that this is another good example for as well. Oh, come on, unholy wind. Not only are you a shite arrow, but you're getting in the way. She's actually despawned. Now, she's despawned because but bear in mind, I'm not actually that far away. She's just on that corner. The reason why she has despawned is because 17. That's the reason. So what do I mean by 17? 17 is the magic number in this game. 17 is the amount of enemies. Oh. 17 is the amount of enemies that you can have in your immediate proximity. Anything more than that, and enemies start to despawn. Ever wonder why cupids just pop out of nowhere in Paradise Lost? It's because there's a lot of enemies, and it's very dense in Paradise Lost. And enemies... Huh. No. Now, I killed those two enemies, and we've actually gone further away, and now you can hear her laughing. She spawned back in. So she's back now, and the reason being is because we've just cleared out about 5 or 6 enemies, which means that there are less than 17 enemies probably left in my immediate vicinity, hence why she's back in the game. Yeah, Desolation, where's that? Give me nice, familiar, I'm coming home mama purgatory every day of the week. I do wish that there was incentive to go to Desolation, but there's not. Okay, so we know where she is. She's in that corridor there. So who else can we take out without alerting her? Well, we can get this guy. Now, that's the part that you have to be careful of. It's not an exact science, because there isn't going to be exactly 17 enemies. There could be less. But basically, the reason why the Orphan would despawn in situations are, there's 2 reasons. Either you are too far away from her, so she despawns, or there are too many enemies in the immediate area, and there's not space for her to spawn in. So, we'll take those guys out as well. That's them sorted. Now we should... Now this is the other thing with Orphans, is you've got to be ready to move at a moment's notice, because they are twitchy. They are twitchy little buggers. Right, so that's those ones in that corridor dealt with, and we're still good. We still haven't been seen. Got to be careful of that archway. She can see us from there. We'll now go down here. Now, one of the things you'll see that I've done is the angle that we approach the Orphan from, she will run away from us. So, 2 options we have here is I could come in from this angle and she will run either that way or run this way, or I can come in from that angle and she'll run out here or that way. Now, what's preferable at the moment is that way, because there's no one there. So, we'll get that guy. And we've got only a handful of enemies left here. We'll take them out. Now, a couple of things with Orphans. So, she's run off. She'll usually run in a straight line. But she will try and beeline towards enemies. Now, she's teleporting away. If we get close, she has to stop. That golden line, that golden mist, is where she's gone to. So if you ever lose sight of her, if you can slow time, you can see where she's gone because of the gold line. So when you are in proximity of her, she cannot teleport away. You don't even really have to be that close. So that's another thing, or something that is worthy of note, is that if you are close to her, she cannot teleport away. And she will more often than not always move away from you, and she will go towards enemies, because that's her job. If there are no enemies, then I think she'll usually just take the path of least resistance. See the gold dust? She was going to teleport away, then she realised, sorry, too close. Now let's see, where's she gone? Line of dust behind me. That's important because there's plenty of times where I've lost orphans because they've teleported through walls into other structures. But that gold line of dust, slow timing will keep it there for a few seconds longer, which is very useful. Now we know, John. So, the other thing that I'm going to show you as well, and this is something that I've kind of been playing with because of Agony, is the sweet spot. Now, there is a sweet spot. You'll see that I'm using slow time a lot here to keep things under control as I want them to. That's why slow time is very important. Yeah, she'll book it off that way. So, the sweet spot is a place where she's comfortable teleporting away from you from, but will stay there even if she's hit. Had an example. There, probably. So she will literally stay there and keep on getting shot because in her tiny little brain, she's far enough away that she can teleport away from me, and she will keep on attempting to. And doing the headshots there, it's more points, or worth more points. So yeah, that's also because it's a little bit further away, she's worth more points. Another thing with the Orphan is, now in videos that I've done previously, you'll see that I've said, you know, headshots are always worth somewhere between 14 and 16 gold, usually averaging out at about 15. The Orphan, I don't know if they changed this recently or not. I've never really paid attention, believe it or not. But headshots on the Orphan are actually worth double, and a body shot is worth the same as a headshot. She did leave me a cat 3. I mean, I guess we can probably put that to use. So what we'll do next is we're going to put some of these things into play on Paradise, because I think Paradise Lost is probably one of the hardest levels to do all of this on. Oh! That's a good idea. That's a really good idea, because I need to do a bit often. Good shout. Right. Did anyone see the pit? I wasn't looking. I was going to go straight to Paradise. But yeah, doing the pit. Let's go and find the pit. Now, another thing. This is more for my purposes. This is more for my purposes, which is always going to be for either speeding things up, keeping things entertaining, or keeping things short on the time. Yes, thank you, Miss Jaeger. I am on it. Welcome to the stream. Not here either. So that means it was all the way back in number 1. I reckon it'll be in that building there. Oh, look, there it is. So. You shouldn't stand there, mate. Jesus. I'm walking here. Or teleporting here, anyway. Okay, so. One of the things I think I covered not so long ago, I want to go in that pit, because I need to show you guys and give examples. I don't want to have to deal with all the enemies in there. Now, I have alerted them, but when we come out of that pit, we won't return back to... we will return back to where we shot the teleport arrow from, so we can probably get away there fast, if I remember. Okay. Pits are a little bit different beast, because pits are usually smaller. A lot of the time when you can't hear the Orphan at the start of a pit is because there are too many enemies about. Now we can hear the Orphan. Where's that? So I think she's up on the banister. I hate immolation. So slow time it out a little bit. Now, the one thing I will say is, because I'm wearing this earwig thing, my sound perception can be off a little bit because I've technically only got one ear. So, but I think that sounds... You got your silence boots on, have you? Prick. Oh, good. Okay, well, this will make things a little bit easier because skeletons are nice. Okay. As far as orphans are no longer going after, I don't think there's a cycle that orphans are ever worth not going after. You should always try, but you do it as carefully as you possibly can. And you get ready to give it up as well, very quickly. Okay, so what I'm doing now, what I'm going to try and do here, we know she's over there. We've killed a few enemies and we've kind of, as I've said shown in my videos, kind of secured our entrance. Now what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and get her to despawn. So we are definitely within range and we can hear her, but there's a lot of enemies. If I go over here, saw that ghost despawn. Oh, I don't think she's going to now. But it's not an issue. Again, we're doing the same thing. We're going to slowly get rid of everything around the level. So. A big help being deaf in one ear, you reckon? So, let's wait for these enemies. So this is part of the reason why I am not a fan of immolation. Oh, pestilence! Great arrow. Oh, did I just play Cat 3? Ah, look at that. Pestilence over Cat 3 all day. So part of the reason why I don't like immolation is it's because it is the smallest map. In all the other maps, if the orphan is in one corner, you can get technically all the way to the other corner and she will despawn because there is a big enough distance between you. Immolation is the only one based on some of her spawns. Get out. Ah, I tell you what, LG said it best. Knights and skeleton warriors, it doesn't even feel like a pit. I love it when I get this in my run. So right, we know where she is. She's up over there. Let's... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know where she is. Yes, I'll be able to see her from there, so... Alright, so she is definitely on there, and I think she's quite far down. So when we're starting to get close, you need to be ready to jump on top of her. At these cycles, that isn't too much of a problem. At later cycles, you don't. Like if we're in here, you were pretty quiet as well, you know, left side. At later cycles, you've got to be, you can still jump on her and stop her and then get away and stop her getting away, or put in a little shot into her to stop her rising. Hello, Camille. Right. Yeah, getting my sweat on. There are different spawning locations in the pits. The ones that I remember from here, there's one over there, one there, she can go down the bottom here as well, and one over there. Yeah, I mean it's a VR thing, but you shouldn't. It's something that, as far as that's concerned, looking through the walls is it's happened in VR time immemorial because of how the experience works. You shouldn't, but you know, I'd turn a blind eye to anybody who does it. But I'd like to think that people that can get to a reasonable level and a reasonable standard on this, you don't need to. However, to be fair, whilst you are learning the locations, it's probably not a bad shout. So right, we're going to continue clearing out. We know she's up there. So let's go round this way. So normally I'd just bomb it in there and smash it to bits because we're on cycle 1. But obviously I'm trying to teach you how to deal with them on a higher cycle when things are dangerous. No, I haven't shown anything juicy yet. Other than the whole getting close to the orphan stops her running away. Now, we want everything... Oh, she's up there! Well, that's 2 fails so far, chat. Fuck! So, I thought she was up there, but she wasn't. So that was a bit rubbish. This isn't going so well, is it? If I'd have landed next to her a little bit sooner, then we would have been okay. Oh, it's going terrible now. But hey, it's good. We're learning lessons, right? And I said this was going to be orphan hunting, not how to not hunt orphans. Right, let's... What do we do? Let's clear this up. In fact, it's going to be just as quick for me to restart. Sod it. Right. That's the warm-up done, peeps. No, it's not lack of personal play. That was unfortunate. To be fair, that was my own fault because I didn't identify where she was correctly, which is part and parcel of only having one ear working at the moment. But I'm still, see, this is the thing, is I'm still learning to play like this, so that I can listen into you guys whilst playing, which is, yeah, definitely a learning experience. Yeah. Hello, Big Smith. Yes, it is my left ear. I'm not having problems with it. It's just because the quest doesn't allow... Yeah, I did go back for that, to be fair. Because the quest doesn't allow you to see chat within is part of the reason why I've never bothered streaming in the past. Because I figure, what's the point of streaming if I can't chat to people that are watching? So I came up with, well, I didn't come up with, I read about a solution which I then kind of modified myself to have a speech, a text-to-speech application on my phone so that I can hear you guys, and the chat is being read out to me by the most drab and dreary voice you will ever hear. I'm not taking precedence. I'll tell you what I will do, because the whole Winter's Bite thing is already a bad shout. We could use a wildfire. That's another exemplar. Right, just get a little bit of gold. How much are we on? Oh, okay. It's not so good an example. Because if we hit her, we might not hit her, or it might be might miss her. Is that enough? Yeah. Okay. So this is the other. So we've got different ways to make sure orphans don't escape. I know I haven't been great in showing them off so far. However, another one is to make sure they are taking damage. Yeah, they're... yeah, I might have to actually, because I would normally do location off of either, well, a combination of knowledge and hearing alone. But yeah, I don't have the full 3D hearing effect. Now, again, I think I know where she is. She's definitely on my right-hand side, so she's down there. So we do not want to be in line of sight with her at the moment. Oh, these are great teleport. Oh, come on now. There we go. So, see those guys spawn in, and the orphans stopped. The orphans stopped laughing. That's because... Now, the one thing that I don't know is how the priority for spawning works. I think, again, this needs testing, but I think it's a first come, first served basis. But I think there is different priorities between different enemies. We'll go in that pit and we'll do a proper example. So, what I'm going to show off here is how... So, can't hear her yet. Right, so she's back. Now I believe she is in, I think there's 2 places on this configuration. Thought she was going again then. So we can deal with him, that's fine. We can deal with this one, that's fine. We can whistle arrows down there, because she won't be alerted. I think she's far enough away. Oh, and that's another point as well. If I ever go silent, it's usually because I'm listening to chat. As far as rules for orphan spawning, I can't really give you any hard and fast ones. I'd have to have a real think about all the different locations that you can spawn. Like, for instance, with bats, there's 2 rules that I can give you. Bats will never spawn, golden bats, rather. They will never spawn indoors, and they will always be on the top level. So you won't, like, they won't spawn underneath things. So, like, you wouldn't find a golden bat spawned in here. And you wouldn't find them on the lower floors of Desolation. So... That's them dealt with. No, that's cool. That's something that I'll have I'll have to have a think about. So, we know where the orphan is. The orphan's round that corner. Let's get his attention and try and make this as simple as possible. That way we can't fuck it up. So he says. So she is through there. Hitting your shots is obviously quite important at this stage as well. It's those stray arrows that will cause her to disappear. Now we want to go to here. And I might... Yeah, how to lose your orphan indeed. So, that should be everything out of the way. Now, there's probably going to be a couple left in this corridor. I'm going to deal with them, and then I'm going to show you something else. Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. I know you're kidding. Okay, so the orphan cannot teleport away, and if I remember rightly, she isn't even allowed to teleport. Let's just follow her a second. I don't think she's allowed to do teleporting of any stage. So I've already showed you that by staying close, she can do this, and again, using that golden trail to know where she's gone. Bad luck, pal. So let's see if I can get her. So I think she's just going to run away. If I get... So what I'm going to show you here is if she is under the effect of things. Now, I can't remember, if I'm honest, and I do it all the time, if she can actually teleport away with Hand of God. I think she can't because it technically counts as damage, even though it's not. So, let's curse her. And you'll see that she tried to teleport there and then stopped. And the reason why she stopped trying to teleport is because she's cursed. She is definitely far enough away from me to teleport. Now, I think... still cursed. She's definitely far enough away for her to teleport now. If I curse her again, she'll stop. And she will not be allowed to teleport. What I can't remember is whether she can actually do her short range teleport whilst taking damage. So she can do her short range, but she can't leave. And another thing that you can do as well is you can influence her movement by being not just around her, but in her way. So if I stand here, okay, well, sometimes you can. I think you have to land before she starts moving to influence which way she's going to go. So I'm over here, she shouldn't come toward me. And she should always try and teleport and move away. As far as the line of sight rules is concerned, if she catches line of sight of you, whether you've seen her or not is enough to trigger her. If you catch sight of her from very, very, very far away, you can avoid triggering her, but I wouldn't play that game. So yeah, another example. Curse is one example of tick damage, which will stop her doing anything. She won't be allowed to go. It's exactly the same as if I stuck her with an arrow from here, and that would stop her. So it's a use of curse and wildfire, and you could combine that with the whole despawning thing as well. So you could shoot a curse and then run for the hills. Oh, great teleport arrow. And run for the hills. Like that. And she would be taking damage whilst moving away. she would be taking damage whilst moving away from us. Now, that's another way that you could deal with a particularly troublesome orphan if you have those arrows, is you could stick her with something like wildfire or curse and then book it. And the further you can get away, the better. Because she is taking damage over time before she despawns, means that she, at the same time as her despawning, will be when she'll stop taking damage. No, that's not wrong. That's not the right way to say it. If she's taking damage, it gives you more time to run away, basically, causing her to despawn. Interestingly enough, when she does despawn, she will lose the effects of anything that she had on her. Should we try the pit again? Probably a good chance I'll fuck that up a second time. Let's see if I can redeem myself. Pits are difficult, especially when you are trying to do it very slowly and very carefully. Where was it? I've already killed the ghosts. It was on 1, wasn't it? No, it was in part 1, wasn't it, John? Or was... Right, hang on, I'm in part... I'll check part 1. Okay, yeah. John, I'll go with you, because my memory is absolutely shocking. So, yeah. So far, we've got, if we're damaging orphans with tick damage, they cannot teleport away. So that's one way to kind of help you out. If we teleport close to them and stay close to them, they again cannot teleport away. Good one, John. Nice memory. There we go. Right, Reformation. This one's a little bit of an easier time. I hate Immolation, I really do. For that exact reason. So we'll clear ourselves a little safe space. Oh, this one's a real pit as well with skeleton archers. Brilliant. So we can't hear the orphan yet, which means one of two things. Either there is too many things in our immediate, or she's really far away. So we'll kill a few enemies and see what happens. Now, the places that she can spawn in here, she can spawn in that middle room. She can spawn in this middle room here. She can spawn where one of the portals will actually come. She can be on that the top stage as well. I think she can spawn where the portal is. She can be on that stage, as Big Smith just pointed out, which, depending on the angle that you come in from, can be an absolute pain. And this, middle room and the lava staircase, Right, so let's get this. So, at the moment, as you'll have seen me do with picks, I'm clearing out a nice little safe space. Right, that's that. So, another thing that I'll point out, because I always thought they went all the way to the ceiling, but they don't. These are actually really good for skeleton knights, because they are a high up surface that they can't teleport up to. Skeleton knights can't throw anything, and up here you can just shoot them. It's a shame we haven't got any skeleton knights for me to demonstrate that, because this is just archers. But, like, for instance, skeleton warriors will act exactly the same as those abominations. If we went up here, skeleton warriors can teleport up to us here. If you had a room full of them here and you teleport up here, you can take them out at your leisure. Now, I know skeleton warriors aren't particularly difficult enemies, but if you're up here, you've automatically increased your distance from them, which then makes the headshot on them a lot more valuable. And, given the choice of, do I want a skeleton charging down my throat or not, I'll take no. Yes. Yeah. I use them sometimes when I'm doing my pans around the pit when showing it off, because it's quite a cool little location. You can also use that one as well to get some height on an incubus if they're very low and you can't hit them from here or on top of there. You can do it from here if you had incubi over here, because of course we always want to be increasing that range. So, can we hear her? I swear I just heard her. But she is far away. Oh, Tempest, what a great arrow. I'll take it. Now, that's one thing that you'll see. I do that actually quite a lot in tournaments, is feathering the slow time button when you've picked up an arrow, because there is a bit of a pause when you pick up an arrow. Now, what we're going to do with the Tempest, this is one of the uses for a Tempest, if you are hunting Orphans, is you can basically get a cheap little hit on them, and you can combine that with running away. It's almost like I can't fail. Ah, that left side. Oh, they have to be really loud. Right. So now we can hear ourselves an Orphan. Can I get the double gap? Double gap shot. Deal with that ghost first. Double gap. Yes! Is Jonathan Jimbo in the chat? He'll tell me how many points that was worth. Anyway, right, so, but we're not siege. Let's just get these out of the way. So, Tempests you have to be particularly careful with as well, because Tempests go through all sorts of stuff. No, I was just messing about. Thank you, Sean. I'll take 76,000. And no, I was just messing about. It's because I play Siege of Heaven too much. You don't get any extra points. And I know people have said, oh, wouldn't it be good if... Come on. Really? I mean, that is your weak spot, isn't it? Christ. Anyway. People have said that they would like to see things like double gap shots and bits and pieces come into the main game. Can you imagine it though? It's bad enough already having to angle these massive long range shots. Then you would have to get every enemy to a certain area so that you could get double gaps and such. Sure, make a mode out of it, but don't change the main game for that. No, thank you. So this one. I thought I heard you. This one is up on the landing. Now, we do have to be a bit careful, but we can... What I'm doing here is I'm quartering the room a little bit just by coming around the corner, making line of sight with these guys. I'm going to take those two out. We should be able to fire a shot about there. No, a bit higher. He'll come. I'm surprised he teleported first time. Thank you for being a fantastic example. Incubi love 3 rooms. Incubi love 3 rooms. They love this room. They love both ends of this room. And they love that room as well. They also really, really, really like just in underneath there. Now, if we were still in the days of needles, I would be showing you a fantastic way to score an incubus by getting them to teleport down there. However, we're not. But it is a good, safe place to deal with them. If you wait there, once they're alerted, they will come. Eventually, but I'm not going to show that off on the stream because it can take absolutely ages. So, we still need to be in a state of play where we are ready to move. I know where she is. I know that she's up there. based on that archer, I'd say she's on the little balcony as well. So let's deal with what we can. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, that was a headshot. Oh, you little bugger. Is she gone again? I was messing about headshotting a ghost and she's gone again. Ah, this is turning into a really bad example. So, you know how this is, we're going on an orphan hunt? This is definitely how not to hurt them. So, as you can see, even people like me struggle with hunting orphans. Doing this slow approach anyway. You know, I better do something successful tonight. Jesus. So yeah, that was another really bad example. Ah, but I shouldn't be. Boo! Boo on orphans! That balcony one is hard. If I wasn't messing around headshotting ghosts. Yeah, they do seem to be a little bit extra sensitive. I know, right? That would have been a really good idea, but I never carry Tempests, so I'm not in the mindset. Yes, you are learning what doesn't work. That's quite right. Now he remembers he's got Tempests. But no, whoever said, sorry, I missed who said that in the chat. Quite right. If I'd have had the presence of mind to fire the arrow that I always slate up there, then yeah, we would have been in business. Right, let's take that with us as well. Yeah. So use your ears more than your eyes, kids. Don't put earwigs in for starters. Right, so let's try another example that I can have a little bit more success with. Let's try Paradise Lost. So again, Orphan on Paradise Lost. In Purgatory, it's always in the last section. In Paradise Lost, same. To be fair, Camille, I don't think I'm going to be teaching you anything of note. I think you know as much about it as I do on the Orphan front. I'm getting absolutely rinsed tonight. Right. Let's get some health and try not to die whilst I'm trying to show this off. Be a good idea, wouldn't it? Oh, I'm going to get at least top 10 on all leaderboards this season. I'm keeping it quiet that I'm dominating runner. Okay, so we can hear the Orphan. It's all going downhill from here. So the powers of locomotion just there. Runners, to be fair, runners, if you get the right arrow at the start, runners quite an easy shout to get a decent time. Now, see. I'm hoping to have the time. So the locations that she can be in is she can either be up the top there. I don't think she can be in that corridor, but we'll have the jump on her if she is. Yes, she is. So let's get these ones and those ones. And if we go this side, she should go back because we've cleared some of that. So that's the direction that we wanted to go in. And if we stand here at this sort of speed, at this sort of distance, where she's happy to teleport out from. Oh no, she's coming back. Where are you going? Oh yeah. And she might. So this is another one of those sweet spots that you can get. She won't teleport away. We're possibly too close for her to teleport out. Let's see. What are you going to do? Yeah. So we've got her basically trapped here. This is another way that you can deal with particularly troublesome ones. This is more often than not an accident, and you shouldn't really play around with trying to do this. But you'll see that she wants to go over there, but I'm in her way. I'm too close for her to teleport out, and she isn't teleporting past me. I don't know why she's not teleporting past me. You can find locations like this where they'll do this, and then she just basically waits and nail those headshots. But yeah, if you can put yourself between them and they don't have another option, sometimes they will get trapped in that. I think it's more to do with the fact that this section is actually very small. She can only stay on the same level, so she could only stay on this section here. Which is why we were able to get her to behave in such a strange fashion. So at least I've got the right arrow for that. So let's get rid of Gabe quick, and then we'll go and hunt some orphans in the abyss. I think we might stay out of the pits for tonight, gang. Ooh, what's that? We've been robbed! Jesus. Well, I'd say they need an assistant at this point if there's going to be shoplifting going on. Oh, did I pick? I didn't know. No, I didn't pick the health up from there, did I? No, I didn't pick up any health from the shop, did I? Got me thinking now. Let's see this. Honestly, this is how bad my memory is. Oh, good. I replaced Tempest. Okay, well, we'll DS him then. This is quite a good arrow for him. No, you're quite right. I did say that. I swear I hadn't been in there and he'd been shoplifted. That would have been hilarious. Right. Let's see if I can at least make the shot that I always make when I'm not doing things. I can't even make that shot. Rubbish. Yeah, it would have been funny if it was an actual shoplifting incident. I didn't know that actually, Camille, on the Orphan front. I didn't think there was a difference in pitch. We'll have to test that and see. I want to hear that now. Right, Abyss. So in Abyss is the strange one. In that Abyss the Orphan can be in part 1 or part 2. So let's go and see where she's at. I think Desolation follows the same rules. I think she has to be in 3. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the skulls either. Although shield bashing them is very fun. And one day I'll run a competition. Steady on for the best skull slap kill. But it won't be this day. Right, so I go as far as to say she is not in section 1. She can be up there. She can be in there. Hello, Beanie. Yeah, as far as it's concerned, Beanie, I'm doing a rubbish job of orphan hunting tonight. I've lost 2 pit ones so far. Dicking about. Most of it. Now. Better check. Nice one, Camille. Yeah, shh. Beanie's here. Yeah, feeling quite average at the moment. I need a big old redeem. Maybe I'll go on Fletcher and knock a couple of seconds off of a score. Not Fletcher, off of runner. Okay, so I don't think the Orphan. I was just making sure the Orphan isn't on section 1 and that we haven't missed the pit. I mean, it's a good arrow to cover with, I guess. Let's go and have a look. She's not up here, which means she's in the next bit. So yeah, so we've got doing damage to the Orphan. Let's see if we can get her to change pitch of voice, because I didn't know about that one. Yeah, but you don't really carry these arrows around. Beanie, if only there was some way for us to prove it. Oh, have you had a look at the legend points leaderboard recently? I don't know. I don't know where you are on it. I know it's not first. I think you got dethroned by some amazing archery / crossbow player. Alright, where's that? It's down there. Let's get those out of the way. Now, might actually be able to make this shot. Let's see if... No. Boop. Now, I'll go through this quick. Remember where I entered the pit from. Well, I mean, you could have just quit just for the tournament and then got reinstated. Didn't mean to do that. Yeah, the legend, it's just a popular point, the legend board. The legend leaderboard, unless you're not Meal Beanie, the legend leaderboard means nothing. Well, actually, no, it does mean something very important. It means the person who's like first or second or probably third plays the game way too much. Right, so this Orphan is relatively easy because, again, she hasn't got too many options to teleport away or get away from us. She can come into this corridor a little bit, but we might as well just get straight up in there, deal with the enemies, stay close to her so that she can't teleport away. And if I remember rightly, she'll just sit there now. We're too close for her to teleport away. Where are you going? And I think she'll now teleport back. No, she's going all the way. But yeah, the gold dust thing. Hit the slow time, where that gold dust, because I think she's going to go that way. And I've lost her before. Not here, but I think you're just going to do your own thing. Do a teleport. Oh no, we might have her trapped again. Yeah. So again, these were not the examples that I was planning on showing off tonight. This one isn't particularly useful, I don't think. But if you position yourself between an orphan, her only exit, and there is nothing behind her, she does this, and she doesn't seem to have a choice, and doesn't want to go that way either. So, go on then, Beanie, what's your orphan trick? I'll clear this out first so that you guys can see where I'm going to come back in. Left-hand side. Is it something revolutionary? Is this that I haven't shown? Is it going to change the way we play, or is it another Rickroll? Right, done enough here to have the pit open, which is all I wanted to show. Now, we'll test that. I just want to make sure of something. Remember where I teleported in from? See, if you'd have been on time, Beanie, you would have seen that I've already demonstrated that. So there you go. I entered the pit from here, my teleport arrow. Now, I know that looked like a really good shot, but it really wasn't. All I did, if you remember, again, a video I'd done, when you pull the teleport arrow back, if you get vibrational feedback from this control pad, you have a valid landing zone. So I just kind of guesstimated and waited for it to vibrate and then let loose. If I do it again from here, that is a landing arrow, and I should land, yeah, down there somewhere. There you go. Now, what we want to try next is I want to see, because I've never done it. That was the pit. We haven't done the orphan here yet, have we? There she is. She's inside. Right. So a good approach on this orphan is from the back. A lot of places are actually a lot easier to take down if you approach them from the back. We've got the ability to, so you might as well make use of it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use these angles. We know that she's right at the front, and we're going to use these angles to take out some enemies. So that we have got to be careful on our angles of arrows though, because the orphan is over that way, and we could alert her, as seems to be my penchant at the moment. Normally, a again, on a point scoring thing, I would normally come outside, wait for him to teleport, and then I would get a decent distance away from him. It doesn't always oblige, and then rain in the headshots for those extra points. But I digress, because that's not an orphan, or if it is, it's definitely an orphan that's never going to get claimed. So we know that the orphan is beyond that there. She's actually right at the front of this building. Do a little bit of cornering. Easy. So that's most of the things dealt with around here. Now, this is part of the reason why you do the back of the building, is because if we now approach her from the front, the only place that she has to run to is the back of the building. And because we've cleared it out, we know there's no enemies there. So if it all does go a bit wrong, we know that where she's going to is cleared out, for the most part. Like, for instance, let's say he's got the jump on me now. I don't have to worry about everything else getting alerted and fighting in this room. Now, what I want to do is I want to get her at a state of play where she's teleporting away, because I have a funny feeling that Hand of God will count as... Oh, there you go. No, it doesn't. So, what you'll notice with Hand of God when you hit enemies with it and they get into the bubble is their life bar appears. And their life bar usually appears when they take damage. It's something that I will... let's do asthma quick. Now, apologies for bleeding everybody's ears. In fact, I mean, I don't need to do asthma because I've done what I wanted to do with Hand of God. But what I will... I suppose I'll show it off quickly. I'll show off what I want to show off, and then we'll go and do something else. Maybe now that I'm well practiced, we'll get back onto my run. I'm actually at cycle 5 from the run that I was doing the other day. Yes, but then that life bar stays up. I'll show you what I'm banging on at here and why I thought it might have an effect on the orphan. Because you want me to do no specials? Well, that's... yeah. I tell you what, I'll use one special, and that'll be happy. I'll be alright, Fuzz Fletcher. Oh no, I missed one. Oh, it's all going perfect until it goes terribly wrong. Woo! I will show you guys something actually on here that I like playing around with. So what I wanted to get at here, now I am going to speak louder because I know you guys have to deal with this, but these monks, the, what do you call them, abyss monks, I guess, only teleport away when they take a hit. Right? He got hit, he teleports away. If you put them in the bubble, they teleport away because it counts as a hit, bringing up their life bar. Although it does no damage, it still counts. That's why I wanted to test it out on the orphan and see if it was the same case. Same thing. Oh, that left side. You. I do want to show something off here actually as well. This is how when I get to the high cycles, I hit him back into that. If you then do that, and then headshot multiple times, he actually drops. And so you could use that to lower him into the lava, which is the way that I'm going to be doing it. And just to show off what I found out during Fletcher. So we want to be aiming for just at the lava line. You've got to wait for his shield to be off. And there you go. Asmo slowed. Very useful. I mean, it does actually have a bit of use, because if I can keep him slow, you can see the other spine from that side, and you can get some shots on it. But I ain't got the right angle for it at the moment. He's turned too slight. Let's keep him slow. Get him before he goes. Yes! Slow motion. Let's go over here. I mean, yeah, this incubus, we don't need to worry about trapping him, because he's something that we can do quite easily. Which is quite funny. That I came across what's going to be the best way to do it. There a second. Oh, I can only see this going wrong, but let's try it anyway. Right, so let's have a look. Let's get the bolt off. I was going to record a video of doing this, but I'll just do it. And then we go back there. There we go. Slow motion finisher. Look at how dramatic. Look at how dramatic it is. And not only that, but if he hurries things along, it worked last time. No! No! Yes! Ah! There you go. Right. Yes, you're quite right, John. I do have more. I never go Desolation. There's a good reason why I don't go Desolation. I don't know where any of the Orphan spawn points are on there, because I never go there. Why would you? It's worth way more. It's much more of a risk than it is anything else. So, right, I'm going to grab a quick white water. Is there anything that anyone would like to see done, or anything that they're not clear on, or thanks Beanie, I do try. If there aren't any suggestions, I'm gonna go take another crack at the pit. What time are we on? Okay, 9:30. There is a points difference if you are not hitting headshots. So it's part and parcel of why I say it's actually good practice to use your Hand of Gods quite liberally if the quivers in the level will allow for it, because you obviously want to make sure that you're plenty stocked. Don't be frivolous with them, because you do need them for good old Annie. But yeah, as far as Hand of God's concerned, it's one of the things at later levels you could do. So let's say, for instance, I had loads of quivers. Now, shooting that guy with an arrow, with a vanilla arrow, is going to score us points. Do we really want to be getting in a sniper battle with them? No, because that's how you lose life. One of the things that you could do is that, just to make the headshot, well, a little easier or a little less pressure, but you don't lose any points for that, because that is still ultimately a vanilla arrow. In answer to your question on Orphans, or on anything, that scores exactly the same as that. But the only problem with a special arrow is, more often than not, you would do more damage to them, and we don't want to be doing more damage to them, because we want to keep them as healthy as possible for more headshots. Don't know if anyone noticed that pro Hand of God arrow switch, but it wasn't on purpose. So what that was, little known thing, which is kind of useless. If you hold trigger and have a vanilla arrow drawn and then press quiver select, you will scroll through your arrows. Now, you'd think that that's a really good idea, even if you had a quiver set up. I don't want that. If you had your quiver set up a slow time and select, I'd love to find a really good use for it. I tried using it, thinking it would be a good thing to do in Siege of Heaven, being able to switch for that bingo shot. You are 10 times better. I can't think of a scenario where using that switch would trump putting the gaming to slow time and taking your time over matters. So, right, third time lucky, gang. Immolation, my favorite. So yeah. Yeah, if you had 4 arrows of Winter's Bite, then yes, easy switches, and you wouldn't have any problems. However, I would still argue that if you are switching to Winter's Bite on the fly, I don't want... Yeah, I'd still argue that... left-hand side. I'd still argue that switching arrows on the fly is always going to be a lot more dangerous than quiver selecting, because at least with quiver select you can take stock of the situation as you are changing. I'd love to even think that that's like flexing and some sort of amazing skill, but it's not really. So you'll notice that we haven't heard the Orphan yet. Purposely trying to keep my left ear to this wall, because I know that there's nothing coming that way. Right. I don't like immolation, Sean, just because it's not long enough and it's not big enough for the purposes of despawning the Orphan over from using distance. We haven't heard the Orphan yet because there is at least 17... Cheeky. Come on, teleport in. There we go. We haven't heard the Orphan yet because there is at least 17 enemies between us and their spawning location. As we kill these... There you go. Now, I was told that that's because the game can only handle 17 entities. However, I've got it to do more. But that's another video, and it's not a particularly interesting one either. So, that Orphan is in not too bad a place. Right. Let's deal with what's around us here. And you hear that she despawned again? That's because I'm in range of these enemies. Now, that's not a bad thing. We can actually make use of that. We know if we don't kill anything here, you don't have to complete all 4 sections to go through a cycle. You only need to complete 3. Purgatory or Desolation, and then Paradise Lost and Abyss. Then you start cycle 2. So you'll hear she's gone quiet again because she's despawned. So we know if we kill no more enemies and retreat back to here or further, she'll despawn, because she should be over there on that little strip or possibly at the top. I think she can only spawn on the strip. So let's not kill anything there, knowing about that location. I don't really want to lose this one, though. The thing is, we're going to kill enemies around her. We're not going to go straight for her. Now, she still hasn't spawned, and that's because, again, as I said, I think there's some kind of spawning priority, and that it works on a first in, last out basis. Or would it be last in, first out? First in. No, it would be first in, last out. So as I kill these enemies, even though the Orphan is down there, now she's in. Now she's amongst it. Oh, now I'm not sure where she is. She's definitely despawned. Yeah, that's a good point. So let's see. So Camille said something. I don't know if you've ever heard this, Beanie, but Camille said that the Orphan's laugh changes in pitch when you're discovered. So let's listen. Nope, she's up the top. Bye-bye. And notice how I came back here, and I did that because I don't want to fail an Orphan for a 3rd time. But just in case she saw me, I came back here, and then that despawned her, just in case she had been alerted. A Desolation does have a boss at the end of the level. It is the same boss as Purgatory. Anakin. Okay. So that's these lot dead. So I've killed a load of those. Where's that ghosted lady? There she is. And yeah, as Dave was saying, usually the spatial awareness on this game is spot on, except when Knights have got slippers on. So I think she's in the very back corner. Okay. I think I know where she is. So I believe she is on the landing platform all the way over there. I think. She could be up the top there. Don't think she's up the top. Very fast on the movement. I don't want to miss him either, because I don't want to send an arrow whizzing off down there just in case she is where I think she is. So let's go. She might be up the top there, you know. Let's go and have a quick look. We can have a look for her. There she is. Yeah, I would as well. But we're trying to put some classy examples together here, because we haven't got one yet. So anything that I do at this point now is my own fault. Now this is another good reason, oh that looks mean, doesn't it? This is another good reason why I'm using slow time and abusing it as much as I am. Because it's buying me more time to hunt her. Never do this, by the way. That is a classic example. Yay, I killed her! Right, so that is a classic example of a time to run. Yeah, you, especially in those fire cycles, don't. I know that the hitbox on the fireballs is like particularly narrow, in that you can dodge those by the slimmest of margins and it still counts. However, that's a situation that you would just know out of, and that someone was asking, is there a time to not go after orphans? Yeah, that was one. Jumping in, hit Hand of Godding them, and then jumping inside that Hand of God will give you a fighting chance. But the amount of times that I have died on high cycles for a measly, 67,500 points plus the headshots is ridiculous. I've also died with like full quivers of arrows that I could use, but I'll refuse to because I want to score points. Let's do some headshots. They're still going. So let's construct. I was showing examples of this in one of my videos today. I think this is while we're in. Holy light! Get it off. Yeah, later cycles, definitely not. Lower cycles, good opportunity to practice. However, my train of thought would be you shouldn't really be practicing those sort of situations because you should be avoiding them like the plague. Unless you're one of these fast and loose idiots like me and me. In which case we're supposed to thrive off of those scenarios. So what we're going to try and do here is I've set up, probably best clearing the area first. I'm going to set up some very long range headshots. Beanie, can we have a word? Because that's just fucking bollocks, really, isn't it? That was on my left, where I'm technically deaf, and from the wall. Right, so that's a reasonably decent distance. And if you can nail that first headshot, we've then got him. And if you keep on nailing them, you won't have time to recover. What's difficult is managing multiple, although that's the sort of distance that we want to be going for. But you don't want to fight three, so what's the best way to not have to fight three? There you go, now we're fighting one, but we will have to be careful. So he's now in a situation where we can't really carry on. we'll have him here. Now, also remember, he will go back based on the direction that he is facing. So if he is looking at us, every hit will send him back a little bit further. Get good. I hope that's in response to fucking matey hiding in the wall. So that's the one that we want. We want to aim way over his head in an attempt to just hit the head. At later stages, it doesn't matter too much, but at these stages, they've only got so much life. And we want to avoid hitting body shots. But to be fair, there's probably only one more headshot in that one. And as far as this one's concerned, moving about the level will force them to teleport as well. Nice one, John. Thank you very much. Hey, I got an orphan. Did you see? I got a pit orphan. So that's long enough, I think. Just got to be careful of those fireballs. You're best off trying to shoot him. Again, if you can get those headshots off in good time, we can keep him stunned. That's not a bad area. And each one of these shots... Oh, not doing well on this one. But you'll see that I'm changing my position to try and keep these shots long, because this should be quite an easy encounter. You can once you've cleared the rest of the level, always try and leave the incubi till last, and then you can manipulate them in quite a big play space. Now, those headshots might look quite, I don't know, intimidating or quite difficult to do. It's just a lot of shooting over the top of them and raining the arrows down. Right, what we like for time and what we like for battery. No worries, Nat. Okay. 68% left. Let's do some cycle 5 play, shall we? Alright. I don't need to save this. Right, I'm going to switch on to my other profile and we'll do some cycle 5 play. And I'm going to play properly. And it's probably going to mean me not doing a lot of talking. And let's see if I can get some progress in. Now, you'll see that I haven't put the extra 3% on because I was mid-run and I don't want to risk doing a run whilst trying to do some score. So I've increased my score a little bit and gone as far as Purgatory 5 because I figure you guys might actually want to see me playing properly. Although I'd usually not be recording and usually not have something bunging up my left ear, but it's the life I chose. I decided that I wanted to do this, so I've got to learn, and I found that learning is always going to be done best the hard way and in the moment. I'm actually bending down. Something I would recommend to anybody, especially in VR, is have some kind of little... I have a little mat in the middle of my play space, so it is right here, and I have my foot on it so that I can feel the difference between the little mat and the bigger carpet that I have, or the bigger rug that I have, just to keep myself centered. Damn it. So you'll see, because the last arrow that I used on Asmodeus, because I was dicking about making sure that I had the Hand of God shot right to show get you guys off today, was Hand of God. And so it was still selected, which is why it was my first arrow. So, top tip, always check what you were using last before you start playing. Now, I have kind of abandoned doing the Executioner playstyle because it's not worth it, points-wise, in the long and the short of it is. I think it's more entertaining to watch than what I'm doing now, which is a lot of boring long-range headshots. That was a headshot. Do you want some as well? Again, those, see, like these sort of shots at this sort of level, I shouldn't really be taking. I'm just asking to lose life. However, there's still going to be plenty of life. Pretty sure there's going to be life in there. So I don't need to worry too much. You know, messing around at this stage isn't going to be run ending. So, as far as a body followed by a lethal headshot, the body shot scores nothing. So, you could, and I often do. Like, for instance, if that guy, if I hadn't had to use my shield, I could do that to stagger him. That's always going to be a kill shot at this stage. That headshot is always going to be a kill shot. So, if I body and then head at this stage, or just headshot him, it is exactly the same points. Exactly the same. The reason why it's bad practice, though, is when you get to the stage where, say, an Abomination, I think it's like from about cycle 8, maybe 10, an Abomination can take 2 reasonably close range headshots. You want to be hitting head every time, because there's 2 scoring opportunities there. The first headshot and then the headshot kill. If the kill is done with a body shot, you don't actually score anything more from it. Killing with a body shot, you'll just get the gold and a handful of points for the kill. I think it's like 1 or 2, and a lot of that is determined by the cycle that you are on. Like, so those body shots that I've put on those guys there didn't actually matter too much. I'm confident I'll find some quitters, and I don't need that many. See, it's times like that where I start enjoying myself, and then I'm like, right, remember that you're on cycle 8, and you're not supposed to be playing like a dickhead. It is worth extra points through the executioner side of things. But yeah, as I was saying, a body shot scores you nothing. Headshots. So if I'd have body shotted that guy first, I might not have got 2 headshots out of him. So I'm then costing myself an extra headshot. It's probably worth at this stage, at that range, about 300 points. 300 points might not sound like a lot, but you multiply that 1,000 times over the course of your run. You do that, Jesus Christ, they're king. You do that 1,000 times over the course of your run. It's a lot of points. And the more efficient you are with your scoring, it's like, I know Camille does it. I don't know about Harry. Harry, if you're still in the chat, you'll be able to confirm this. Skipping the early cycles. Now, I don't skip the early cycles and try and maximize my scoring. Yes, the scoring is the equivalent we wanted. Maybe not what we deserved. That is a no situation. I'm not taking that fight. Yeah, skipping. Oh, just slow time a second whilst I'm sort of explaining something. Skipping the early cycles and foregoing the scoring, knowing that you can get massive amounts of score for a lot less effort at the later cycles, is all well and good. The problem with that is, I know across the first 5 cycles, I can score from the left again. Oof, it's a good job I didn't have armor for you to take off. It really is. I'm gonna have to start playing with my right. What's that? Um, playing those early cycles, first 5 cycles, first 6 cycles, because I think Camille skips the first 6 cycles or something along those lines, and that's like giving away 3 million points. Now the argument is, yeah, but 3 million points, you can make that in half a cycle at, say, cycle 20. My counter argument would be, yeah, but I don't have to get as far as you to equal your score or particularly even beat it. Hello, Kay. I am at... This is the game that I was playing the other day, and we are at cycle 5. And I'm just chatting shit after a not so successful orphan hunt, but I think we picked up some bits and pieces. I managed to miss 2 in the pit. That was a lot of fun. But I think we've put some decent examples out there. Now, we're going to remember where that quiver is. I don't know if it's easier or not. He can score out of that just as much as I can. I don't know. It's a time thing, I think. He doesn't want to have to sink in the time. I can see where he's coming from, because I don't even consider myself playing this until I'm at cycle 5. And the more I play this game, the further that consideration is getting. Like, it's now getting to a point where I don't even consider a run until I'm like cycle 8. And then it's like cycle 10, 12, 14 where things start getting interesting. Bear in mind, I've only been as far as cycle 16 myself. And a lot of the reason why I die is because I have great ideas that I want to test out. Ooh, another quiver. Like all these quivers. So again, this whole slow time thing is needed here, because dealing with stuff like that, you can't afford to miss those shots, and if you do, the slow time covers it. It also means that you can manage multiple enemies at these sort of distances. And normally I'd nope out of that, but I've got plenty of quivers behind me. So this is a pretty good example of me making use of, oh, look at this guy in his sideways shot. This is a pretty good example of making use of gods. So instead of panicking in situations or just keeping things going quickly, I've got 2 quivers behind me. Yes, I've got the pit to do, but we should be all right in the pit. And again, slow time between all of these shots so that I can manage them all. And I did hear you. You can have some as well. The only problem with slow time, and you'll see it just there, is that arrow was a headshot, but it went straight through his head. Now, the reason being is because you are supposed to, again, same there, that wasn't the same arrow. Now, the reason being is because there are certain gestures and at certain times within movements that the hitbox for the head does something a little bit different than where it's displayed, or it gets a little bit smaller. So slow timing is why, like, sometimes it'll work. So those shots were 2 incredibly quick shots together, and they both hit the head, even though one was a little bit off. So it depends on the animation, but it's one of the reasons why someone who abuses slow time can miss the shots. But I would say that it's well worth doing because of the advantages that you gain. You can have a body, deal with you, and then you'll see I'm going to backpedal to open the distance up on this guy, just so that I can get a couple of extra points out of him. That wasn't very good at all, because he's got a shield. Again, constructing the headshot. Why not, eh? He's got a shield, so I know that this should be nothing but head. About time, Jesus. There we go. Now, you'll also see that there's a knight over there, because I was very particular and methodical about my shots. I didn't alert too many enemies. Just in case you... Oh, cheeky. Just in case anybody doesn't know, any of these little crenellations that you can stand on, the enemy will then start, the knights will start throwing axes at you because you are at an elevation too high for them to attack in melee. I mean, I don't exactly have the high ground, Anakin, but, you know, apparently, according to this knight, I do. But that's one way to escape a lot of pressure from things just by jumping up here. Won't work with archers, they'll shoot you regardless, obviously. But can be quite handy with knights, and is also another good way to construct those long-range headshots. For instance, if I go up here, he's now got to throw axes at me, which then makes him a easier target. I've just got to watch out for these sharp-handled axes. Oh, and that one, cheeky boy. Let's go and deal with you first. Now, the other thing of doing that is that's put him into throwing axe mode, and that axe is going only where I was, which then just makes him an easy take, basically. Now, this isn't 100% guaranteed. Sometimes you will be on the crenellations and they will rush you. You've got to wait for them to stop. If they carry on running, then that's probably because they're lining up for a melee strike of some description. Oh, sharp. Let's see, these guys have got their act together. Hey, he's not that high. We can hit him, surely. Yeah, good try. Now, let's deal with these ones up here. Now, if I was playing this without people watching, I would be playing... This is me playing reasonably carefully, but I'm not playing the scoring game as much as I should. Basically because it's a bit boring. I don't want to have to lure every single enemy miles away and then spend 20 minutes headshotting them. I don't think that makes for entertaining viewing. Correct me if I'm wrong. But what I can do is I can play not optimal, but I don't know, what I'd consider probably normal. This one's always a tough take because there's a lot of enemies down there. There's a lot of opportunities and a lot of ways that you can alert people. Bear with me a second. I'm just going to have a quick wet. Okay. So for this one, what I would do, you've got two options. It depends on how many archers are at the front. You can, didn't actually intend to do this, but he's made a good example of himself, is if you imagine that there's like a radius around you, because it isn't to do with the line of sight of those guys, I don't think. If you imagine that there's a radius around you, and as the cycles go on, that radius gets bigger, and that's the detection radius of the enemies. It's not to do with line of sight, because that knight couldn't see me, and he turned around, yet his buddy didn't. I think all of the enemies in this game have got... I would have thought from an ease of programming perspective, they'll have made it that I am triggering them as opposed to the other way around, them having radiuses. Like in Metal Gear Solid where they've got the cone of vision. Think of it as a radius, but not on the enemy, but on yourself. However, the Orphan works a bit differently. So again, that was nothing to do with line of sight because they sensed me. This is a situation that I don't want to be in. So I'll go over here and approach it from a completely different angle. I would normally, at higher cycles, start from over here. And the reason being is because we can take these guys out easily enough. And we've got the jump on them as opposed to them having the jump on us. And this is one thing that I'm going to show off in one of my tips in 30 ticks, and this is called what's it called? It's called cutting the pie or slicing the pie. It's a military terminology. I made an absolute pig's ear of it then by teleporting across. But what we're going to do, we've already alerted them now, so it doesn't make too much odds. I'll demonstrate on the next room. Is there any left in here? So, Jesus Christ, you must be getting a bonus from Super Bright. Lucky you go. Now, I am in a hand of God. However, I shouldn't get into that sniper duel because it's worth very little points for a block of life, or for 2 blocks of life, and it's just dangerous. It's just asking for problems. Anyway, the whole quartering side of things, or cutting the pie, or whatever you want to call it, is looking round this corner, and when you catch sight of an enemy, stopping and letting them come to you. Now he's too far away to deal with. I'll demonstrate it in the next room. So for instance, we can see into that room and he can see us. He can't come to us because we were up on that ledge. Now he's coming towards us. We don't want to fire an arrow into there because then we'll alert the enemies that are in there. We'll wait for him to come out. Tell you what, these guys are on the payroll tonight. Always be listening. Get you in a minute, mate. Okay. So again, we're going to have a look round this corner. There's one. We'll wait. He's seen us. We'll draw him out instead of shooting arrows into there. Or he's just going to stay on the wall. Okay, so he's planning on staying there then. And we'll come round this one and see if there's anyone around here. There's not. Oh, now we move. So again. So we can catch sight of those ones. I know if we come back here, only place that they'll have to teleport is here and potentially on that snowbank. If you ever hear that creak, always look around. Now, usually they'll fire 2 or 3 shots and then teleport to a valid location that you're looking at. And that's pretty much high cycle play, ladies and gentlemen. Look, attract, move back, wait for teleport. Fuck you. I was trying to do an example. Hello, Kraz. There we go. I am doing an absolutely terrible job of orphan hunting, so I decided I'll do a little bit of cycle play until my battery gives out. So again, we move forward enough to get these guys' attention. Notice how we haven't shot a single arrow. We don't need to. We'll draw them all the way back to a nice safe spot and eliminate them. And there you have it. High cycle play. Now, we're slowly whittling the amount of enemies down over there. There's 2 left. Options are we could take them head on. At really high cycle, I wouldn't even risk it because there's a doorway right next to them. What I would do is I would go round. So we'll take it at a different approach. That orphan's up there. Based on how things have gone tonight, we should take her out first, really. But she's at an elevation where she can't see us. So quartering again, quartering the room or slicing the pie or whatever you want to call it. The other benefit of it is we're controlling what we can see and in turn what can see us. So these guys are having to move to get into a state of play. Guys, moved to get into a state of play to engage us, and we have cover. That was a really bad example though. Should have been checking for those guys. The radiuses. This is only cycle 5. These guys are absolute bosses. So these are those 2 monks that I was looking at earlier. There's freebie there. Wrong place, wrong time. Those are the 2 monks that I was looking at there. I didn't like the idea of engaging them at that distance. I'm pretending that I'm playing at like really, really, really high cycle because it's boring. I don't want to actually do it. So I'll just do it with the enemy having a lot less life. So she'll run to the enemies. There's loads over that way, but really far away. So she will go into this direction because that's where the enemies are. And we want all the headshots. She's in a Hand of God bubble, so we don't need to worry too much. And you'll see that I'm backing away. Now, did you see that little gold dust? We know where she's gone. She has gone through this wall. And so we know which way to go to pursue her. But if you get the inkling that she's going to teleport, hit slow time. And that trail, if you look for it, will tell you exactly where they've gone. They can only go so far as well. Put myself into a bit of a bad situation here. So these are the sort of situations where if this was high cycle play, I would have done that. And it's time to run. I'll go somewhere else. Preferably not into enemies, but go back to somewhere that I've cleared. Although this presents an opportunity for a few more points. There we go. And again, we've got plenty of quivers, so I can readily make use of all of these if I really wanted to. Because Hand of God, the only reason why I'd say that that's a good idea is it gets you more familiar with using Hand of God, gets you into the mindset of the situations where it can be useful, because it can be very useful. But most importantly, it's not taking any life off of the enemy. That's the practice that you want to be in. You want to be hitting headshots with the life of the enemy and nothing else. Anything else is a waste. And again, it goes back to what I was talking about. If they've got enough life for you to get 2 headshots out of, then that's 2 headshots. That's double the score of somebody who used a special to freeze them and then a headshot to, say, kill them. And if you're constantly doing that, like, for instance, somebody who can get to several million by cycle 10 will be beaten by me. Or say somebody can get to 3 million by cycle 10 will be beaten by me by about cycle 6. And we all know that this game gets a lot harder the more cycles you go through. That, you know, there's more danger. You have to beat more bosses, because those are the sticking point really with most players. Ghosts are the only thing in the game that are worth points technically for a body shot, or worth a standard amount of points. I think they're worth something like 60 plus 1 or 2 depending on the cycle. Again, I haven't bothered working it out, because if you're thinking about using ghosts to up your score, then you are doing it wrong. Bit of cornering, standing around the corner, feathering that to get him where I want him. Put the headshots in. Down he goes. So that guy's seen me whilst I was quartering. If I stay here, he'll move into a position to get me, or he will thought you had me, huh? Yeah, he'll move into a position to get me, or he'll teleport. If he can move into my line of sight, because it's not a very long distance, he will. Otherwise, he will teleport. And they will always try and teleport into your gaze, as I have said in one of my videos before. However, the times where it feels like they've teleported behind you are usually because you were looking over there, you turn to face, the enemy's already decided where he wants to teleport and teleports there. The only enemies, I think Cupids start to do it at high cycles, but the only enemies that actively teleport out of your line of sight are skeleton archers. And it's one of the reasons why they're massive dickheads. Right, have I got time and battery to do this? Yes, I have. So I think we're going to put 33%. We can do this. We're going to put all those lessons together that I've been teaching you on orphan hunting. I'm going to get this orphan in the pit of immolation in cycle 5. So, first things first, hit slow time. Can't hear the orphan. That's a good start. See, the thing is, I don't have to do all of the good stuff at this stage because I'm quite confident that I'm going to be able to get that orphan regardless of where it is if I just bum rush in there and smash her up. But I will try, cheeky, I will try and do it proper. He says, getting almost nailed by the first archer in the game. So we're not going to go and engage him. We're going to wait for him to teleport to us. And then nice and simple headshots. These boys have been alerted. Now, headshots are even more important in the pit because you are conferred a 2.5 times multiplier on every single one. Now, that incubus is at a reasonably good distance, and it's one less for us to worry about. Engaging this one will trigger that one. But we should be able to take one of them out before we have to really start worrying. We can angle the wall and that pillar between us so that we're technically can see two, but engaging one. And all of these are very good point scoring shots. Now, I can't hear the orphan again, so at this point, until we kill another enemy, we are quite safe to engage. Because if we can't hear the orphan laughing, then there's no way that we can alert her. That's another point to be made. Oh, get down. This is what kills the arms of the players that can get this far. Those bad boys. So, still can't hear the orphan, which eliminates possibilities. We know she's not on this way. This is only cycle 4. Nice one, Beans. Cheers, dude. Thank you for coming. Right, we're going to leave that one, and now we can hear ourselves an orphan. Didn't see where that was. That's good. She's despawned. So that gives us a little bit of a clue as to where she might possibly be. I knew there was another one. Yes, I jammed her with loads of arrows, but, you know, we're not paying by the arrow, so let them fly as long as you're hitting. It's all good. Where are you? I think that's the landing again. But we know that if we did alert her, if we come back to here, with the state of the game as is, that she will despawn. So let's get this boy here. The skeleton arch is always a problem. Didn't want to miss that shot, but it's done now. Because I've missed that shot, I'm not going to keep this position. I'm going to pull back. Reason being is because there's things on the way. And there's another thing. Skeleton archers, I would not blame you if you're not headshotting them. It's the same principles that I have with Cupids. Is you should try and aim for a Cupid headshot. They are notoriously difficult because they can put like their bow, their arm, and their wings in the way of even the perfect shot. You should always try and go for them and hope you get them. However, best practice is kill them fast. Don't dick around with cupids. Likewise, don't dick about with skeleton archers. Like, for instance, I should not be taking shots like this, especially if I'm going to miss them, because they can just result in me losing life. What I should do is alert them, immediately pull back to somewhere like here. And that's why skeleton archers are pricks. Because even when staggered, their stagger time seems to be lower than everybody else's. Right, on. I think that might be in the room again, you know? Let's see what we can see over here first. Or is she over there? I don't know. We'll work it out. So, see all of those enemies spawn in? And now we can't hear the orphan laughing. So, hopefully, these are some good examples of a mechanic that can be abused. And basically, as a general rule, if you hear the orphan taking off and you can make the music cut out before it finishes, you've despawned her before she's been able to get away. It's probably something that I should have mentioned earlier. Again, this is I should not be getting into a sniping duel with that skeleton archer. Good example of what not to do. Because see, the other thing as well is by doing that, not only am I playing it safe, but I'm also risking points. Because I put, 3 body shots into that skeleton instead of a scoring headshot. So, oh, damn it, she's seen me. So I've got to go there. So, I can't go for the slow approach, because I thought she would see us. So we're going to go for the fast approach. Golden glitter going over here. We're abusing slow time like a motherfucker to buy us all the time in the world. This isn't as dangerous as it looks. Let's make it a little less so. No, you may not pass. Okay, well, maybe it was a little bit more dangerous than it looked. This is my friends. And there's your orphan down. There you go. Couldn't do it during the training, but can do it live. But again, that wasn't even a great example. Because I've alerted a lot of enemies whilst trying to do it, and the whole idea is to try and make it as safe as possible. The problem is with orphans, making them safe is very difficult. But you can reduce the risk by doing what I've done. Now what we're going to do, take this one out at a not so great range. Oh, I'll show you what I was banging on about. Check this out. If I slow time him and then rain in the headshots, you'll see something weird start to happen. Not take enough. See how he's slowly moving down? And he also rotates to the left if he takes enough headshots. That's useful because we can dip him in the lava, or we can dip Incubi in the lava just using a Hand of God on Asmodeus for the Incubi that seems to get everybody on. There's no going up there. I'll no part of that. Banisters rather. Okay, I'm going to leave him there and set up a shot on him later. If you want to score well out of those Incubi. clearers. And you'll see a lot of the ranges that I'm engaging are always the same. If the thing is a threat, take it out at close range. Abuse the slow time, nail it that way. If they are not so much a threat, and you can deal with them as such, then take them out at a distance. Again, those abominations, if I shoot near them and alert them, alright, I didn't mean to kill him, but if I shoot near them and alert them, they can't come to me because I am standing on something. If I stand here, now they can come to me. I can use that to maneuver them to a little bit better a shooting position and then body shot them. Let's check if there's any more down there. They're probably chilling in the lava hole, if there are any. Nope. Who we got left? So, yeah, almost done. Oh, sounds like there's some abominations hiding in some walls. Nope. Not today. Another reason why I hate immolation as well, because it almost happened then. You have to be perfect with your teleport arrows. Plenty of times I've sent a teleport arrow flying off into the lava. I still do it occasionally now. Thankfully, lava only takes 1 point of damage regardless of cycle. However, it will take your precious armor off of you as well, which is a horrible feeling. There we are. That was worth some decent points. So yeah, at those sort of ranges, per headshot is worth about 2,500 points. Now that might not sound like a lot, but if you crank that range out a little bit, you can get that up to, I think it caps out at 3,200. Bear in mind, incubi at say cycle 10 have, I think, about triple, if not quadruple, the life that one had. It's a lot of headshots. If you watch some of LG's videos, you'll see him plugging away on incubi for a good half an hour in a pit, and it is ridiculous amounts of points. No worries, dude. Glad I could help. Right, we'll grab the quiver. And let's have one last check around. You should do, I almost forgot about him. You should always check the pits at these higher cycles. The reason why we're coming here is for points. It doesn't matter if you leave a couple of ghosts behind, but they're still worth about 100 points. What we do not want to be leaving behind is incubi. So it's always worth having a quick once over when you think you've completed the pit to make sure that you have, so that you, because we're coming down here for points. So there's no point trying to skip out on not killing everything. If you're down here, you kill everything. And you also might remember to pick up Blood of the Lambs as well. Let's have a look. I've done up there. Let's see if there's anything up here. No. And down on the landing, and then we'll just check around here. No. There you go. Pit complete. Easy. Well, ish. Still took a hit. Oh wow, have I done all 3 sections? Oh, I couldn't pod. No. I'll leave it there. I'm gonna go back and save now before I do myself a disservice and think that I can take on Anakin with 10% battery. I am gonna farm him in the next episode of this, so we'll see how that goes live. Could be the end of me, we shall see. Based on how the Orphan hunting went, probably will be. we got to look forward to? Not an awful lot. Cool, right. Thank you very much, all of you, for tuning in and watching my god-awful Orphan play. Hopefully you picked up a few things. We will probably continue this cycle this session next Wednesday. I might think up something else that I can teach. I'll probably ask some of you guys in the Facebook anything that you want to see done badly. And I'm thinking on Saturday night, I'm planning on a stream, and I'm planning on doing sigils. So how you unlock them, all the things to do within them, some general tips and tricks and various bits and pieces that I've come across as I've played. So anyway, again, thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you in the next one.